bottom, right? That's what it's telling us, that that line is 8 feet. Now they're asking you, it says find the distance from the ground to the bottom of the window. That's that line on that side is what they're looking for. You see what I'm saying? They're looking for that line from the ground to the window. They gave us the hypotenuse, which is 17, right? That's that slant. They gave us the 8, which is that bottom. They're looking for that one. So we know that 17 times itself is equal to 8 times itself plus some number times itself, right? And draw that one up here. So you figure that one out. It says this is the ladder, and it says that's 17 feet. It says from here to there is 8 feet. They want to know from here to this window. They want to know this one. Right? So we have c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Doesn't matter that it's on this side, just know that the slanted line is always your c. Correct? $289 is equal to 64 plus some number times itself. We need to know how many more we need. This has got to equal 225, right? In order to add it to 64 and get your 289. You follow what I'm doing here, Jeff? Follow? What number times itself is 225 is what you need to figure out. What is it? 15? Let's see. That's it. This has got to be 15. So that when I say 15 times itself plus 8 times itself, it equals 17 times itself. Because that's what the formula tells us. Make sense? If you have a book, you need to do those again. Do 4 through 8 on 274. And also 9 and 10 if you have a book. If you don't have a book, follow me when we leave out here and I'll make copies of those pages for you so that you can work on those, because it's just going to be the practice of it now that makes it stick. But that c squared equals a squared plus b squared, you got to memorize that. And you have to know that any time it asks you to find the length of a triangle, that's the only way you can. There's no other way, unless they give you a ruler, that you can measure and say what the length of a side is. There's no other formula, there's no other way. If they ask you that, you have to immediately know that's a Pythagorean theorem question. Anytime they say he walked this way, then he turned and walked that way, you know it's going to be a Pythagorean theorem. They want to know, then, you know, how far is it from where he started? Draw the picture. When you draw that picture, you'll see you're making a triangle, and that slanted line, sometimes they give you the slanted line, doesn't matter. They're not going to always ask you what is the hypotenuse. Doesn't matter. Once you write the formula and get it, you know that they all have to equal when you add it together. So you just have to figure out. They may not have had the 1156. That would have been the easiest. They may have given you the 256 and given you the 30 or the 900, which would have given you, the 16 and the 30. They could have given you those two and asked you what's the hypotenuse. Wherever it lands, all you do is write the formula, substitute the numbers that they give you, and see what it says. It's got to do exactly what it says. It says when you add these two up, you're going to get that. So if it's multiple choice, as long as you understand that much of it, you can figure every choice on there and see which one of them comes up to what the answer is. You see what I'm saying? Now, a lot of times it won't be multiple choice and you'll have to figure, but you'd be surprised at how many times it's multiple choice. And as long as you understand what it's talking about, you can figure out what the answer is because you know it can only be one. It's got to be the one that satisfies what the formula says it has to do. Okay, any questions about Pythagorean theorem? Okay, make sure that you have signed in and out. I don't know where the sign-in sheet is. It's over here if you didn't sign in and out. And any of you need me to copy the pages for you? Okay? Yeah, and he'll be getting your answers for me. That's how he got so smart. He's using your answers.
Good.
Okay, I'll make copies for you. And now I know tomorrow is the bewitching hour, but you're out of here in enough time to trick or treat. So come to
I ain't
class.
gotta do that no more.
I know. I but always buy candy, but I'm always working on Thursday night. By the time I get home, the kids stop. Kids don't come.
Man, I live upstairs, and I don't see no
So they don't
people
ever
walking
come.
up them steps.
And you know what, on my block, I always buy candy, but a lot of people on my block don't. And I don't blame the kids. If I don't see a lot of lights, I wouldn't go down that street either. You ain't go down that whole long street to go to one house. I ain't giving that much out. It'll be worth, you know what I mean?
Unless I know
And
that
not like
one
they
house.
getting gold, you know. So all the, you know, my grandkids come, and then my kids' friends and their kids, they'll come by. But other than that, I don't get a lot. But for the last millions of years, I work on it. Unless it's on the weekend, I might work at night. So sometimes my son will give it out, sometimes he won't. I don't know. I got candy there. They don't give it out. I just fill in my grandkids' bags. Yeah, that's why you like me always buy the stuff I like.
Yeah, exactly.
Always
I got
get
some
Snickers.
left over, that's right.
Cause I know whatever's left,
That's mine.
that's snack time. You didn't sign in, did you, Jeff?
No, I didn't know yet.
You should just sign in and out for this one so I can turn it in and let me make copies for you guys.
I almost failed my test
Yeah.
last week. I didn't know how to do it. It was like some Pythagorean
But
theorem.
Robert, even with knowing six, it's still good to know what you don't know, and
Yeah, well,
that right there,
I forgot the percentages too, though,
so we'll be going back over them too.
in that Pythagorean theory.
It was on there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that same one.
Same
With the
one?
triangles.
I'm telling you, and sometimes I've been told too that when people take the actual test, it'll be some problems that's exactly like either in the book or exactly like on the practice test will be on there because the same people make all of the same. And they take questions and put them in for practice that are actually on the test. So that's why I'll go through these things and make sure we know how to do every one of them because it's gonna be on there. See you tomorrow.
All right, baby, thank
Let's go
you.
get your paper, okay?
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the.
Hey, son. Oh, you in class? You in class? Oh. What are you doing? Oh, how'd your classes go today? All right? I'm still coming up Friday. What time does the store open up? I need a hoodie. Will I be able to see you before the game? If I get there early? Just find out what time the store gonna be open for me. And it's right there in the gym.
They want me on camera, huh?
Phoebe? Okay. Alright, baby. Alright, I love you. Bye. We go upstairs to have some grandma cookies.